Hello, beautiful people. I am driving around because I am passing out my flyers to my workshops to conscious communities in Rhode Island. So I thought, since I'm driving, I'm running errands for a little bit this morning, I wanted to come on here and talk to you all about something. I had a DM by this beautiful young lady, and she asked me a question that really resonated with me, a question that kind of it's a question I had in my journey in the beginning. So I felt like I know there is probably a woman out there, or even a male, that is curious and has this kind of question. So if you're logging on, say hello to me. If you're watching the replay, say hello to me. I am always open and excited to really meet my followers and people joining. Okay, so I really wanted to come on this improv live and just talk about, again, a DM that I received from this young lady that was asking me a question that I think it might be a question a lot of us might have, because I did in the beginning of my journey. So, her question was, what about the women or the people that is doing everything? They're doing all these spiritual things that they see online, like meditation. They're doing, potentially yoga. They are, healing their chakras. They're looking at ancestral things. They're looking at their natal chart. What about the people that are doing everything? They're practicing gratitude. They are doing everything that is available to them. I guess technique or tool that they have learned online, but still doesn't feel good. Still feels like, they're stuck. Still feel like they're not moving forward, although they're trying their best and they're doing all the healing techniques that they know of. Okay, that question hit home for me, because I remember in the beginning of my journey, I had an issue at the energetic level. So even though I was trying my best to be good, and if I'm going to be vulnerable and honest with you guys, the issue I was having with was an issue of ego and pride. Growing up, my father always instilled, this pridefulness in me that, I'm an Oliveira. I'm Antonio's daughter, which means, in a sense, I was better than others. So growing up with that kind of mentality led me to a lot of situations that I knew wasn't me, a lot of outlashes that I knew wasn't me. I was just egotistic. Made me lose a lot of friendships, made me act out of character a lot, and at the end of the day, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with the words I said to people, the way I acted, and how I hurt others. So in the beginning of my journey, when I was dealing with my ego and really trying to, be the person I am, a good person, a kind-hearted person, there was times that I still acted out. And then, long story short, in my journey, I figured out that the issue I was having was at an energetic level. My solar plexus was overactive. So even though I was doing the actions and slowly I was getting it in balance, I had, a chakra balancing session that helped me tremendously. So after I addressed the issue energetically, it made it so much easier for me to, to act from my heart rather than my mind or the ego. Okay, so back to the question. So the young lady asked me, if I'm trying everything, if I am doing all these healing techniques, but I still feel stuck and I still feel like it's not working out, what could it be? So my advice for her is, my reply was so honest, and this is something I work through with all my clients, is, healing is a personal thing. So even though someone like me could give you all these healing techniques, right? Because that's what I do. So I'm putting out random things that are happening in my journey. I am putting it out on my Instagram. So even because that is my healing journey. So even though, as a coach, I have all these tools in my toolbox, the tools that I have might not be applicable to you, the ones I'm sharing at least. So what you have to understand when you're on this healing journey, when you're trying to figure yourself out, when you're trying to become the best person that you could be in reaching your higher self, you have to understand and you have to hone in on the fact that your healing is a personal thing. It's a very, very personal thing, because you have to think about it. Your story is so unique. You have experienced parents that I haven't. You have experienced siblings that I haven't. You have experienced an environment growing up that I haven't. You have experienced different relationships with different men or different women that I haven't. So even though the tools that I share on my platform might be applicable to you, sometimes they're not. So if you are randomly trying different techniques, like, healing your crown chakra, you might never get the results that you are looking for, because that's not the chakra that is off for you. That chakra actually might be healthy and in balance and moving clockwise. So, my advice to her was, she has to get, you have to get deep with yourself. You have to become extremely, extremely, extremely aware and hypersensitive about yourself and your environment. You have to continuously ask yourself questions about what is off, how you're feeling every day. If you're feeling a certain way, what triggered it? If you feel motivated or unmotivated, why do you feel motivated? Why do you feel unmotivated? You have to continuously self-inquire until you can find out exactly where the imbalance is for you to be able to apply the right tool that is applicable to your healing journey. And the interesting thing about the healing journey is it is so complex. It is so there is so much depth to it, because we are so multi-dimensional beings that, even though I will say 99% of our problems is at the energetic level. 99% of our problems is metaphysical, even though it seems to be in the physical, because I think that's a secondary effect of the issues that we have metaphysically. Because we are so, stuck at what we see. We think that there are problems like, diseases that we might have, headaches that we might have, attitude problems that we might have, feeling unmotivated. Although those things are physical and you can see it and you can feel it, it has started energetically, because you are just energy. So, with the healing journey, it's so complex. Again, there's, chakra healing you could do ancestral healing. You could do, everyone that came before you, you are a piece of them. We can also get into past lives. So you can have karma or some scar from your past life that you're still dealing with. So again, your healing journey is your own. And sometimes if you feel like you're stuck and you cannot do it on your own, reach out to someone. There is so many coaches out there like myself that is literally working day and night to learn, to grow, to be able to help women like you to be able to get past this hurdle. Because once you get coaching, you actually get results. One, you can understand the steps to apply it to yourself in your future. When you have future problems, because the self-development never ends, personal development never ends, growth never ends. It is as amazing as your potential. There is no limit to it. So you're constantly going to be growing. But, in the beginning, it's hard because you don't have guidance. So seek out a coach, seek out someone that, does this for a living, that spends so much time, not only coaching women, but doing the healing themselves, and can guide you to be able to give you the tools and the perspective and the steps on how you could do it for yourself. And then once you have made that investment in yourself, and you understand healing and how complex it is, and how multidimensional it is, like yourself, then it is much easier for you to do it in your future. Because once you learn, no one could ever take that back. Once your consciousness expands, it will never go back to where it was. And that is it. So I really wanted to come on here just to say again, your healing journey is extremely, extremely, extremely personal. But there is all the forces in the world, in the universe, really, really here and seeking to guide you and seeking to help you. But you have to be aware. You have to be mindful. You have to be ready to invest. You have to be ready to put your hand forward, because the universe cannot force you to do anything. It can bring people in your life. It can bring resources into your life. But if you're not mindful, if you're not ready to invest, if you don't listen to the signs that has been given you for years and years and years and years, if you don't take that initiative to to put your hand forward in your healing journey, in your personal growth, then the universe could only do so much. It can give you all the signs in the world, but unless you can really take action, unless you can really focus and commit to your growth more than anyone else. I tell all my clients, I am as committed as you. So if you give 110%, I will always, always, always give you 2,000% of me. But if you are not giving enough, we are always going to hit that bump, because I'm always going to have to bring it up to you again that I could not do the work for you. I am simply a guide. I am simply a flagpole pushing you in the right direction and showing you the right direction of how to move. But you still have to do the work after all our sessions, because without the work, then there is no healing and no growth. All right. And that is all for me. Again, if you are logging on, make sure you say hi to me. If you're watching the replay, DM me if you have a question, either about healing, if you feel like you're stuck about something, or if you have questions about the services I provide, DM me, feel free. I am always open for questions. Okay, and again, my name is Leyanne Oliveira. I am a self-mastery coach based out of Providence, and I really just am passionate and driven and so committed to elevating and every woman I come in contact with, every woman that deserves so much more than she is settling for, every woman that is, the center of this universe. We make things go around. So I know if I can change a woman, I am changing her family, I am changing her community, I am changing her home, which means I'm changing the world. Okay, so I am logging off. Again, thank you so much for everyone that stayed tuned in. I love you so much. Peace and love, and enjoy this amazing, beautiful day like I will.